covered, and a lot will further be covered today. Your Excellency, sir, at this juncture, I wish to call upon Bwana Mkarim, who holds an estate right here in Meru County. While he's known as Mr. Mkarim, his name is Charles Muturi, who will be taking us through the entire process of production, ikiwa ni kutoka upanzi mpaka tupate mazao. Ni vipi ambavyo tunafaa kuendeleza mikakati hiyo. Karibu sana, Bwana Mkarim.
Thank you so much. Our Excellency Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, kusema na kutenda. My name is Charles Muturi, but I'm known like Mkarim. I'm the one who is known to be training people, farmers, on how a farmer can plant a coffee plant and lift it from 2 kilos to 10 kilos to 30 kilos to 50 kilos, even to 100 kilos. Mimi ni mkazi wa Meru hapa na nimelima since 80s. Nilianzisha kulima na miti 150 na sasa ni mkulima ambaye akaona miti zaidi ya 20,000. Mimi sijawahi fanya kazi, sijawahi andikwa, sijawahi fanya biashara, na ni mimi nafunza Meru hii hasa hata Kenya. Nimeenda Murang'a, niko na experimental plot pale, nimeenda Kisii, niko Kitale, niko Hembu, na ninafurahi kwamba kuna jamaa alitufundisha jinsi ya kupanda kahawa, lakini tukaendesha zaidi, tukafanya research zaidi. Na nafikiri is better we Mrs. Kariuki, if she is here, ametufunza mengi sana. Is Mrs. Kariuki around here from Kibugu? Haya, huyo mama ametua mbali. Hata hivyo tuliendeza kabisa jinsi ya kulima kahawa, na ningefurahi sana our Deputy President nikiwa hapa, ikiwezekana wakulima juu kunaongeresewa Mkarimu tuko hapa na kuna wengine hawaamini. Jana Deputy Governor wa Nyeri nilienda kwake one time, nikamwambia Deputy Governor, si unionyeshe watu hapa niwafundishe jinsi ya kutoa pesa, kutoa 1 million or 2 million in 1 acre. Kaniambia unaniambia namna gani Mkarimu? Hapana, si uanze na mimi. Tukatembea naye horo basanda, sijui ilienda namna gani. Jana tukakutana naye akaniambia leo ni leo Mkarimu, mimi nataka kwenda kwako. Nikamwambia leo ni leo, basi twende. Yeye ndiye ataeleza nini aliona juzi jana. So our Deputy President, kuna pesa kwa miti ya kahawa. Ni vile sasa sijui mambo ya watu wanasema katero. Kwanza tuanze na production, whereby if you plant 1 acre and give up 25,000 kilos. Because if you count, as Mr. Moshe was showing here yesterday, muti moja wa kahawa unaweza toa muti kilo 50. Na kama utalima muti 500 ambayo iko kwa eka moja, ni kama 25,000 kilos. If you are given by 100, like the one who said yesterday that in their factory they are giving 100 shillings. Uhesabu kama uko na 25,000 kilos in 1 acre, it's like 2.5 million. If you divide 2.5 million by 12, si unaona mtoto ama mtoto anapata pesa ngapi kwa kila mwezi? Ya? 200,000. Na hapa tunang'ang'ana tunasema tufanyiwa sijui president atutafutie nini, governor atufanyie nini. Kazi iko kwa hapa. Kama mtakubali our deputy president Richasa waingilie mambo ya kahawa. Nilienda Kitale nikakuta masamba ni makubwa, si kama hapa Meru, na watu wanalima mahindi na maharagwe. Kwa nini wagawanyi? Hakuna mtu anaweza enda huko awaonyeshe jinsi ya kulima kahawa pande moja, pande nyingine mahindi. For in one way it can give 1 million, 2 million, even 5 million. Kwangu kikuja ninaweza kufundisha wewe jinsi ya kulima kahawa na utoe sio sini ya 2 million inaia. Waachana ni mambo ya anasema katero niliona watanisumbua. Nikaingia kwa kulima kutafuta kilo. Wayambai nikipata kilo hata kama nitapewa na shilingi 50 na mtu mmoja unipie kilo 50. Mimi nitakuwa nikipata milioni tu. Hakuna siku sitapata hata 30 nikipiga na 30 with 25,000 si nakuja pesa. Hata nikipewa na 20 kitambo deputy waendese mambo hii ya hao watu tulime sawasawa tupate sawasawa. Thereafter kama tafanikiwa kupambana na hao watu hawaweze, si unaogopa hao watu sana. Naogopa hao watu hata wakati deputy president alisema nipewe 1 month. Hata niliogopa nikauliza huyu mother ataweza hawa? Juu naye ni courageous. Mimi naona ataweza tu. Na tafadhali hawa makatero tuhurumieni sisi wakulima. Tuko hali mbaya, sisi ni wazazi kama nyinyi. Mkiketi mahali tuongelezeni kitu kidogo. Kama gunia moja ni $250, nyinyi mnauza $500. Semezaneni kidogo mtuongezee ifike 350 ama hapo. Sisi ni wazazi kama nyinyi, tuna watoto kama nyinyi. Sina funjo, please tusaidieni hapo. Na kwa hivyo yule ana tatwisi, yule anaona ile inaongelezewa ni uongo. Meru tuko hapa, niko from here to my farm is like 2.5 kilometers from here, and if you are in Meru, please just pass it through. Na hata kuna kasemu kengine tumeweka hapa experimental plot hapa KPCU. Kama utafika kwetu, henda hapo uone mtu wa mwaka moja ukitoa kilo 1, kilo 3 mpaka 5. Hii mnasema watu wanatoa Kenya nzima. Mimi nikifundisha mambo ya production. Na ni kweli deputy president governor aliona. Na si uliona? Basi kuja kwangu ni local Richasa. Sisi si watu wale wamesomea mambo ya nini, lakini tunajifanyia. Mpaka tunasema wale wamesoma wakuja karibu na sisi. Kuna kitabu ya Mungu, sijui ni nani, mimi si msomi sana wa Biblia, lakini nasikianga kwamba kuna msomi, kuna sijui ni Musa ama ni nani, alisema weka wewe kuni zako hapa na mimi niweke kuni zangu hapa. Wewe omba toa Mungu wako juu aweke moto kwa hii. Na wewe weka hapa niombe Mungu wangu afanye nini? Na waambia hawa malishasa mimi niweke my experimental plot hapa na wewe weka yako hapa. In 1 year time. Ama ni namna gani? In 1 year time tuone ni gani inatoa mazao zaidi. Si hapo nitaanguka ama niinuke. Hivyo ninafanya kuna local Richasa wako huku. Na hata hatutaki kutambulika. Lakini tunazitolea. Mimi hata sichanji mtu kufundishwa. Wherever you want me to come and visit and even to train, I'm free. Naweza kuja niwaonyeshe Kenya ni yetu, tuwafundishe watu watoke kutoka kukulima wa asa wa mahindi. In 1 acre mahindi natoanga nasikianga ni ngunia 30, si ndio? 30 times 4,000 ile inapeanwa ni kama ngapi? Panto, imagine. Na mimi nikikuja kwako mahali kama Gitare, nikwambie lima kawa eka moja. Hakuna vile unaweza kosa milioni moja haki ya Mungu. Ukitaka niuonyeze kama ninaweza ita Mungu asome nini, uniite uone kama nitaita Mungu, sitaita Mungu wangu asome hiyo kitu na upate kitu. So mimi ndiye huyu na ni ogopa tulikuwa tumesimamishwa hapa na mimi ndiye host. Hata nikashindwa Muswe, na wewe ni mimi nilikufundisha. Wewe Muswe ni mimi nilikufundisha, wakati unakuja na nioji na kuambia Muswe fanya kazi ya nini. Usiwe na tuoji peke yake. Na mpaka Muswe saa hii ndiye huyu ananyesha na hapa vile analima. Na ni mimi nimefundisha yeye. So kwa haya mashaza nisipoteze governor our president wakati nimeshukuru CS wetu Renturi ni rafiki yangu sana, ametembelea mimi mara mingi sana. PS ni wa kwetu hapa, ni rafiki yangu, hata yeye amenitembelea sana. Hata nilikuwa nafikiria atakuja apenye kwa president afanye nini, atafuta sisi kama watu kama karaoke, hata mimi tupenye kwa hii industry. Hata hatutaki kulipwa. Tuendeze hii kitu tuone in 2 years time. Waone kama hii Kenya kwa kahawa itakuwa inalipa hii mandeni mnasemea hapa. Kwa haya masasa nashukuru, Mungu ambariki.
Naomba tusikatishe hayo makofi ya Bwana Charles Mutweri. Jamani wakulima, washirika wenza, viongozi, sisikii makofi kwa mkulima Charles Mutweri. Bwana Charles Mutweri anasema jina Mkarim ni jina ambalo ameongeza kutoka jina la babake lake na la babu yake ikawa jina Mkarim, lakini kwa ukweli na kwa maana ya jina ukarimu ni mkarimu. Amesema yule ambaye ako karibu na ako na wakati kwake nyumbani ni kilomita 2 tu, na hivyo basi akatupa umaarufu na uweledi yake kwa sekta ya kahawa.
Ni 0722 324321. Ile ingine ya nini si kumbuki.
Aya, asante sana Bwana Mutwiri. Wajua cha maana ni mawasiliano. Ikiwa nambari moja ya simu tutaweza kuwasiliana, basi itakuwa imetosha. Asante sana. Ama kweli siku nzuri huanza asubuhi, na imekuwa njema vile ambavyo Bwana Mutwiri ametuongoza. Sasa kwa ruhusa yako Mheshimiwa Naibu wa Rais, kuna nafasi ama sekta ambazo hatukuweza kuwasilisha jana kwa sababu ya wakati. Kwa nafasi hii ningependa kumwalika our Principal Secretary Bwana Patrick Kilemi, ambaye ni PS Cooperatives, Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, na anapofika mahali hapa nitaomba wa protocol officers kuleta viti 6 ili tuweze kuwapata Bwana Vincent Marango, Bwana Eric Washira, Dr. Jane Kadhuku, Bwana Timothy Mirugi na Bwana Daniel Marube ili waweze kutuongoza kwa awamu hii. Karibu Bwana PS.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Cabinet Secretaries, Your Excellency Governors, Senators, Honorable Members of Parliament, and good morning. Your Excellency, allow me to quote a famous economist called Patrick Driwo, who was doing a research for his book on development economics. he went to a poor man's house and he asked him, "What is poverty?" The poor man told him, "Look at me. Look at my house. Look at my compound. Look and write what you see, because what you see is poverty." Your Excellency, if you ever wanted to see a Kenyan farmer, look at Mr. Mutwiri. What you have seen is a Kenyan farmer. Your Excellency, in search for solutions for the coffee problems, we have traveled far and wide. But the coffee story cannot be told without mentioning the year 1500 AD, when a goat hunter in the plains of Ethiopia realized that his goats, after eating some cherries from a bush, were happier and more energetic. In fact, they were not sleeping. The hunter was called Mr. Caldi. I do not know if Mr. Caldi chewed these cherries or boiled them to have the goat experience. But so the story of coffee started. But our very own Eric Washira decided to go to Ethiopia to find out what is Ethiopia doing about this coffee. Why is Ethiopia paying 250 shillings per kg as opposed to the 60 or 50 bob, so Mr. Mutwiri wishes? Eric, please tell us.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Deputy President, Cabinet Secretaries, PSAs, Governors, MP Senators, all protocols observed. Good morning. Now, I want to continue from where our great farmer Mutwiri stopped, and I want to connect his conversation about Kenya transforming and becoming the next big thing through coffee. This is why we are positioning that perspective. I want us to watch a short video that will simply introduce this storyline that will connect to what Mutwiri spoke about. Please.
Coffee number 8, 89.8. Coffee number 9, 85.
There's one coffee here that is probably the best coffee I ever tried. It's a coffee that you can put in an espresso, or you can sell straight, or it's beautiful. Just unbelievable when you find something like this. It's Ethiopian Arar. It's absolutely fantastic.
Your Excellency, that is a true story. It's a real video. Yesterday I had many people mention black gold. It's a true story that is available online. Please go and watch it. It will cost you $10 to watch the video. The main character is a gentleman called Tadesse. Tadesse is a pioneer, or the man who started or revolutionized the coffee movement, or the coffee growing in Ethiopia to the place it is today. And his story and the story of Ethiopia is no different from Kenya. Many farmers were doing a lot of work, but the return was very, very minimal. And he chose to do it differently to understand what is causing us not to make money. He went through, and the first thing he did, please, the presentation. The first thing he did was to revolutionize that value chain. The cooperatives was a thing he started by creating or bringing birth to in Ethiopia in the coffee industry. This he learned from Kenya. A lot of the Ethiopians have been students at cooperative university, where they've learned all about cooperatives and how to run cooperatives. Now, there's a unique difference between how they do it and how we do it because of their culture. It is said strategy, culture will eat strategy for breakfast. The culture of Ethiopians are people who think first of their people, of their country, and what they can do for their country. One beautiful story that I've shared, if you remember back a few years ago or something like that, when Prime Minister Abiy took over, the Ethiopian soldiers went on strike. And he went to them, did push-ups with them, and had a chat with them. And as he was speaking with them, he spoke in Aramaic, and it was translated to me what he was telling them. He told them, and he reminded them, when we are here, we are living in this land of Ethiopia. We are Ethiopians. When we die and we get buried, we go to the ground and we become part of our land, which is Ethiopia. So what is the story Ethiopia will say about you once you've gone from being an Ethiopian to being Ethiopia? And that's the culture everybody in Ethiopia lives with, where they put country first, people first, and they work for the betterment of each other and their country. And that's why in the story of governance that was being asked yesterday, their cooperative unions are powerful. Oromia, the biggest, has about 500. Sidama has about 70, and Iga Chafe has about 15. Very small, yes, but their coffee is the highest quality in this land. It is valued. And like you saw in the video, the limiting is not just on the coffee grade. They've gone a bit deeper. And that deeper, while they cut the value chain, the steps, and they were able to connect the farmer to the buyer, it was not just about reducing the steps, but also capitalizing on who is this buyer we are targeting. Who is this buyer we are going to be talking to? In the long chain, we are selling to the larger market, and therefore we have no idea who our buyer is. From the video, where you profile the cup and you're able to sample, you are targeting a different buyer, and this buyer is a specialty buyer of coffee. Most of us, if it's the men, tunananga kinyozi and we go to one barber. We are used to that one barber. The ladies, the same. They'll go to one person in the salon, who they are used to. The same with the doctors. You have a preferred doctor you'll go to. So the same thing in coffee, even in the market, there are specific niche markets. There are specific people who want a specific type of coffee, not just any brand of coffee. And that's where Ethiopia came from, by going to that specialty market, where the cup of coffee is sampled along all these 6 lines. First and foremost, look at the fragrance and the aroma of the coffee. Combine it with the flavor of that coffee, where they're able to sample it, smell it, and all. The acidity, where does this coffee grow? What is that soil acidity looking like? The body, which talks about all things of altitude, traceability, all these different things are sampled, and they are scored over a score of 100. It is given any score above 82 is specialty coffee. And where Kenyan coffee has been sampled, 99% or plus of our coffee is above 82%. Meaning all our coffee is guaranteed direct entry into the specialty market. What does this specialty market look like? Once it's sampled, then it's graded, and there are different categories based on whatever the customer is willing to pay. So it becomes a conversation of mutual value, where you are willing to pay me for the value I am giving to you as a farmer. Not just a blanket price based on my grade of the bean, but it's more enriched because it's more personal. Number 2, it has gone beyond just being a transaction, because there is a relationship. This specific customer knows who you are, where you are coming from, what it is you've planted, and they like the value you are giving to them. And therefore, they are willing to pay you for the same value. It becomes a mutual symbiotic relationship, not a parasitic relationship where mtu moja anakula mwenzake. Win-win as opposed to win-lose, Your Excellency. Looking at Ethiopia, let's look at some scores of their 2022 Cup of Excellence, because this Cup of Excellence is that competition where premier coffee across the world is taken and it's graded by different people, and different winners are categorized. So let's look at some of these scores, Your Excellency. First, you have ranking of all top 10. You can see they all came from Oromia or Sidama in Ethiopia. Look at the scores all the way from 90 down to 89.2. Cause of traceability, which was mentioned a lot yesterday, you know who the farmer is, you know which farm it is from. Therefore, there is a direct connection to where did this coffee come from, and it ties back to all the things around ethics, around integrity, around how was it planted, was the right people things used, were children not used. All those expected standards are confirmed with that. Additionally, there are certifications which Ethiopia go and they are paid for. However, it is paid for, but you get a small return above on it. Sidama, the weight, very important, is on variety. Ethiopia have about 6,000 varieties of coffee, and they continue in R&D, looking for more and more to target more niche markets as you go more into the market space. The last column is very significant. How has this coffee been processed? Kenya, we rely mostly on the washed process. You can see there's demand for natural, there's demand for anaerobic. Middle East and Asia, they want the natural coffee. Europe, America, they're the ones who take the washed coffee. Anaerobic, a few people here and there. All these are things you can build in the system, and then they are able to open you up to different markets in the value chain, as opposed to just focusing on one specific market. And there's no rocket science. You plant the right inputs, you manage the process well, you'll get the quality output. In that, you might get quality output, but in your processing, you process wrongly, then you end up, Your Excellency, either with bad coffee, which is not up to par. So it's all about the cooperative, strengthening the movement, getting people capacitated to get it right. Looking at the lower one, it's all about the money bit. Specialty market also was an auction. Though Ethiopia don't participate in this auction, they use it for price discovery. Look at that pricing for the A1 grade, the one which scored the highest, getting about $400 per LB. This translates to about 180 per kg. And since we know 6 kgs of red cherry will give you 1 kg of clean bean, that is about $30 for 1 kg of cherry. That's 4,000 Kenya shillings. On the lower side, 189 comes to about 19 per kg of red cherry to the farmer in that specialty market. Big one again is looking at the people, capacity building. In this international list of jurors, you can see the Ethiopians there. So they build capacity. And in Ethiopia, they have a school, training school, specifically to train their people. Not for this international competition, but in every cooperative, everywhere, people are being trained so that they're able to do the same thing because they know which market am I tackling, Your Excellency. This training school, as you can see, it's funded from development partners. So as we say in evolution, resources follow functions. You have this function, you want to start a school, where is the money coming from? There are partners ready to do it. And you can see in the newspapers last week, this US agency was calling for applications for different cooperatives to come in and apply for any site of produce you'd want to raise your capacity building in, build capabilities of your people, increase revenues, get more money. 250,000 USD is there available for us. All you need to do as a cooperative is to put a business case, money is there, and you're able to capacitate and build self. So, Your Excellency, we're saying numbers don't lie, and therefore, coming from what we've learned from Ethiopia, we are able to take this. We have the coffee. We know it scores well. We know it is the best of the best. How then do we take it to that specialty market, and we're able to start attracting those high and best prices from our people? I want us to close by watching a short interview that will take us through from what Tadesse spoke to us about. But in high summary, these are the key lessons: coffee profiling, as opposed to just looking at the grading. Farmer-led primary cooperatives, where it's all about the farmer and what it is we do for our country. Certifications, yes, you pay for them, but they give you now that entry into the door where you're able to speak to the larger business community and the larger market. Traceability of where you're coming from, the different ways of processing, affiliations. Yesterday, the trade team spoke a lot around the affiliations and around branding Kenya differently and putting Kenya in the market. Carbon footprint, farmers also make something smaller from the carbon emissions that they get paid for. R&I, so that you're able to get more variety of your coffees. Coffee tourism was spoken about a lot. Building relationships, you bring in people into the country, they visit the factories, they get to know all about you, bringing in more money and more revenue. So let us watch the short clip from Tadese's final interview. Thank you.
Which means about $3 upfront to the farmers. So we are selling this for $4 and $4.40. So after we finish, we will just distribute the farmers based on their delivery from 2 million to 5 million Ethiopian money as dividend. A person who delivers more than 1,000 kilos gets a value which is equivalent to that. If our profit per pound is about $1 a kilo, we may give them 20 cents back to the farmers. We have a list of farmers who are delivering the coffee, and the amount of money they are delivering. We do have their hectareage also, and all from their farm they bring to this company. We have a washing station, we have a dry mill, so they bring to our dry mill, and we share a profit with them.
It's you designed.
And the sacks, the jute bags, and also this grain broth, it comes to about 380. So our minimum price is 380 to sell the coffee at no profit. At no profit. So above 380 is our profit. We sell for 40 means we are getting a profit of about 60. Commodity means very cheap. We are dealing with specialty, which is opposite of commodity. Okay? Since we are selling a specialty, we don't sell to ACX. Only the rejected beans. After processing the coffee, the leftovers are sold at ACX. Otherwise, all the coffees which are bring from all regions of Oromia are sold to the specialty market.
Thank you, Eric. Your Excellency, Ethiopia, just like Kenya and Colombia, lie in the famous coffee belt. The coffee belt of the world is sandwiched between the tropicals, where that's only a place you can grow coffee. We went to Colombia to look for solutions. We were with Vincent Marango, the director of Cooperative Bank. Vincent, tell us, we have learned a lot about Colombia. Please tell us what you have not heard. What is it that Colombia is doing such that they are processing 20 times the number of coffee, the kilos of coffee this country is producing? Please, Vincent, in 5 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you very much, PS. Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Cabinet Secretaries, Principal Secretaries, and Governors, and all the distinguished guests, all protocols observed, good morning. Thank you, Excellency, for this opportunity. I know my Cabinet Secretary really handled this issue very well by sharing the experiences of the Colombia trip. But Your Excellency, I want to just add a few things that we were privileged to learn on that trip. First and foremost, Your Excellency, we know that somebody said that things do not happen. Actually, things are made to happen. And that's why I'm happy this morning that, Your Excellency, you are leading this particular initiative of reforming the coffee sector. You are making things happen, because things do not just happen. Your Excellency, if today you have an opportunity, because all of us are digital here, you go to Google and you type what is Kenya known for, and then you also type what is Ethiopia known for, and then you also type what is Colombia known for. For Colombia and Ethiopia, you see the first thing that comes, those countries are known for coffee, their specialty coffee. That's what Google says. If you Google about Kenya, it talks about other also good things, but nothing about coffee. So this issue of branding and being proud of our coffee need to be made to happen, because things just don't happen. In Colombia, Your Excellency, which we share almost the same population, they're about 51 million, we are about 53, 54 million. coffee there is grown by smallholder farmers, as you were told by Waziri yesterday. Over 542,000 Colombians rely on coffee, compared to also 800 and something smallholder farmers in Kenya. Their coffee is similar to ours, but the uniqueness, what we found to be very special, in addition to what we learned yesterday, was that the average age of a coffee tree in Colombia is 6 years. In our country, we are told is about 20 years and above. The coffee trees that are in most of our farms, Your Excellency, are coffee trees that were grown by our grandparents. Now, you have heard Mkalimu here say that he has a 1-year coffee tree that is producing almost 2-3 kilos. In Colombia, when we went to visit many of the farms we visited there, Your Excellency, most of the coffee trees were this height. They were just grown less than 3 years, and people were harvesting coffee in it. There's passion. The passion you have seen this morning from Mkarimu is the kind of passion we saw with the Colombian farmers. And learning, language is not everything about learning. I can tell you, the people we met were talking to us in Spanish. So the way Mkarimu is talking to us, we can utilize that kind of skill and even have interpretation done across the many tribes and ethnic groups that we have. The other thing, Your Excellency, we found is that, like what you have seen now in the Ethiopian case, in Colombia, every coffee farmer has a coffee ID. There is a coffee identification number for a coffee farmer that says this is the farmer, this is where he's located, these are the number of trees he has, these are the type of trees, this is the age of the trees that he has, and on a click of a button, you can be able to tell who that farmer is and the kind of kilos they are producing. That coffee identity is one of the things that we need to invest. And I'm happy the Minister for Agriculture is trying to do something on digitizing the database of our farmers. The other thing that we found, Your Excellency, and this is something we need to emphasize in our country, coffee there is grown and controlled by cooperatives. We have one of the strongest cooperative movements in this country. In Africa, we are reputed to be #1. Your Excellency, we need to utilize our cooperative movement to spear and drive coffee production and its marketing in this country. In Ethiopia, like what Eric has just shown us, you've seen that by smallholder farmers through their cooperatives. The price stabilization fund and the guarantee, the purchase guarantee, is working in Colombia. I'm happy that most of the farmers who spoke yesterday are saying that they want to see that happen in our country. We found that actually in Colombia they have been able to eradicate completely the CBD, the coffee berry disease, through research, practices, and interventions. They have nothing about the CBD. They are not using chemicals like we are using chemicals here, because their researchers have been able to help them come up with varieties that are resistant to the various pests, and also that are able to wither a lot of climatic conditions. So the federation, the Colombian Federation, FNC, is in charge of the cooperative, of the coffee growing in Ethiopia. And one thing that we found, Your Excellency, this FNC has trade agent representatives in London, in Shanghai, China, in Amsterdam, and also in New York. I was just discussing and talking to some of the old people who have been in the coffee business, and they are telling me that there is a time when KPCU and the Coffee Board of Kenya used to have an office in London. And there was a gentleman, I think, called Simon Onchere, who was employed and marketing Kenyan coffee in London. We had a gentleman called Barno, who was an agriculture attaché in London, trying to market the Kenyan coffee. Your Excellency, if there's something we can borrow from Colombia, we are able to grow our institutions such as KPCU, the Coffee Board of Kenya that is being proposed, and even the cooperative unions that are here, to have trade representatives across the big cities where our coffee is consumed. Your Excellency, as I conclude, the Federation, the Colombian Federation for Cooperatives, has 3 key objectives that maybe we can borrow to emphasize the growth of our own federation. Number 1, their key objective is to protect the industry, the coffee industry. The FNC fights for the coffee industry in Colombia. Number 2 is to study its problems, to study the problem of the coffee business and the coffee value chain, and also propose interventions. And number 3 objective of the FNC is to further its interest, to further the interest of the Colombian coffee production and marketing. If we're able to do that, that federation at one time, Your Excellency, owned ships that were used to transport coffee across the globe. At one time, they even owned an airline. Those who know Avianca Airline was owned partly by FNC at one time. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you, Vincent. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, the situation described yesterday by the Governor of Embu is called vertical integration in marketing. In markets where there is vertical integration, the farmer's journey to the market, or what we call price discovery, the process is opaque. But in an attempt to circumvent that opaqueness, the Kenyan farmers formed the Kenya Cooperative Coffee Exporters. You know, Your Excellency, our farmers are very resilient. They have tried many things. Jane, please tell us, Dr. Jane, the CEO of KCCA, tell us what is KCCA about? What challenges have you encountered? And in the context of the discussion you have had today, what future do the Kenya Coffee Exporters, the Kenya Cooperative Coffee Exporters hold? Madam Jane.
Thank you so much, our PS, our Excellency, our Deputy President, our CSS President, our Governor's President, our Senators, and our members of Parliament, and our dear delegates, good morning. Thank you very much for the opportunity to present Kenya Cooperative Coffee Exporters, a farmer-owned organization that was formed in 2009 that has been marketing the Kenya cooperatives and farmers, even estates, coffee for the last 14 years. Kenya Cooperative Coffee Exporters is owned by 33 coffee growing regions in the country with 16 unions and 73 primary cooperatives. In this journey of supporting them market their coffee, we've had critical mileage. And our excellency is to say we relate to the conversation of yesterday. We relate to the conversation of our late Governor Gachagua. We relate to the conversation that Her Excellency, our Governor, Embu County, gave yesterday. And we relate to the story of each and every Kenyan farmer. And as I sit here today, it pains to see that we are paying 60 shillings per kilo of sherry. But all is not lost. I'm here to say that we were formed purely to promote and organize and export the Kenyan coffee to the direct markets, and over and above that, still present the Kenyan farmer at the auction. For year 2022, 2021, Our Excellency, we were the highest payers in the entire country. We registered 139 shillings per kilo of sherry. All the cooperatives that marketed with KCCA, 54% of the cooperatives paid above 100 shillings per kilo of sherry. To be precise, they will be asking, who is this that paid 139 shillings per kilo of sherry? This was Agote in Nyeri County. For this year, Our Excellency, all is not lost. We've registered 105 shillings per kilo of sherry. Again, this has been delivered by one of our cooperative societies, Rumokia. Both the chairman of Agothi Odhaya Farmers that paid its giants paid 127 shillings. They are here and they can confirm that. Our Excellency, we've been able to brand the Kenyan coffee in the largest way across all the markets, achieving 120 international buyers spread across US, we are in China, we are in Korea, and they are continuously uptaking our specialty coffee that is being produced by our farmers. But one of the critical challenges that we have kept experiencing, Our Excellency, is on consistency, it's on reliability. This can be demonstrated by what we spoke to yesterday. We are in business of commodity. If you don't own that commodity or if you don't control that commodity in a quarter, then you lose that buyer. We have achieved better grading of coffee. That's one of key contribution of KCCE. Our farmers currently, Our Excellency, appreciate how their coffee is graded, and we've achieved a total of 70% in that on top grades. I relate to the milling losses. KCC, at one point, we used to mill in Sagana. We influenced the milling conversation, moved milling losses from 36 to current of 19, and we have even best case of 16%. Our Excellency is to say, for 2022-2023, as a cooperative society, we're supporting 89 cooperatives that are spread across Nyeri, Murang'a, Kiambu, Embu, Tharaka Nithi, and even Kirinyaga and Lower Eastern. And the conversation is, if farmers still formed KCC to support them, and you can see the kind of prices that we are giving, then we need more and more to get support in that. We've also perfected on the capacity of the organization, where we've invested in a robust ICT system that can integrate up to the wet mill level. We've invested in a huge capacity of warehousing, where we can warehouse up to 200,000 bags of coffee, and a strong governance structure, where even the Commissioner of Cooperatives sits in our board, with a total of 46 very agile staff to support in marketing of the growers' coffee. We have a deep culture that is actually demonstrable, and we are saying it's not about really stealing from the farmer or shortchanging the farmer, but delivering what we are committing to do. The last one, our PS, we have the capacity to support the Kenyan farmers move their conversation on marketing to the next level. Thank you, our PS and our Excellency.
Thank you, CEO. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, you know KPCU is a sentimental asset to the Republic of Kenya. The people of Kenya look at KPCU as this asset, this underwear, which is supposed to process coffee. Timothy is leading the new KPCU. We have the own KPCU under liquidation. Timothy is also the administrator of the Sheriff Fund. Timothy, I want you to address these people and tell them, you have money and people want money. What is the problem with the Sheriff Fund? What can we do? What future does the Sheriff Fund hold for the coffee farmers of this country? Mr. Timothy Mirugi.
Thank you. Thank you, our PS, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, Cabinet Secretary present, PSs present, Your Excellency, the Governors, distinguished guests, all protocols observed, good morning. New KPCU, as you all know, is a product of the liquidation, which is ongoing of the old KPCU, and was incorporated in 2019. In the year 2020, new KPCU received 3 billion meant for cherry fund for the disbursement to the smallholder farmers. But then again, there are some funds that were used to retire some of the outstanding loans that were owed to some of the banks like KCB, and also some of the few farmers that they had their dues audited by then to a tune of 50 million were also paid. So the net money that was received in our account was 2.7 billion. Having said that, the fund also came with the laws, which is the Cherry Advance Revolving Fund regulations, which were passed in the year 2020. These laws also, we are sticklers to the laws, and we have tried to disburse the funds in relation to the laws that we received. Some of them have also contributed to the bureaucratic processes of distribution. For example, Your Excellency, that the application form alone that was prescribed in that law was 9 pages. We have tried to administratively, through the direction of our cabinet secretary, to deal with some of these bureaucratic issues that have come, that came along with some of these laws. For example, Your Excellency, we have condensed that 9-page to 1 page. And we have also tried to digitize that space so that farmers are able to, we are able to lessen even the period of distribution of that money. Your Excellency, to date, if a farmer, it takes a farmer 3 days to receive the money from the date when they applied the fund, for the fund. And this has been enabled by close collaborations with the cooperative unions and the cooperative societies that have come into place. Your Excellency, for the first time this year, 136 farmers were able to pay school fees through Cherry Fund from Iriaine FCS. And we encourage that all other farmers can be able to follow suit, because this money, it belongs to the coffee farmer. Your Excellency, the regulations prescribe that the farmers can access this fund at a rate of 20 shillings per kilo of cherry, or 40% of the prevailing market price. With the low production, that has also been a challenge, where we have very many farmers applying for the funds, but but due to the limited number of their kilos, the money that they receive is quite little. To date, Your Excellency, 757 million has been disbursed to the farmers, and to date, I can confirm to you, Your Excellency, that the repayment loan has stood at 100%, because it is recovered once the farmers have sold their coffee. 292 million has been disbursed to Nyeri County alone, with about 19,000 being disbursed to Nyamira County, being the highest and the lowest, Your Excellency. This has called in for more sensitization across the various counties. We have so far distributed, sensitized more than 18 counties and are taking the fund. About 14 counties, we are on the process of sensitizing them, and as well as resensitizing some of the counties that we had already previously sensitized. Your Excellency, as I conclude, this digitization will also help in terms of reducing the levels of bureaucracies of achieving this money. We are in the process of digitizing the whole process, and in another 1 or 2 months, Your Excellency, the whole digitization will be complete, and the farmers will be able to apply from the comfort of their phones and linked to their factories for verification by the factory officials. Thank you.
Thank you, Timothy. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, you know in this country there are 2 movements, the labor movement and the cooperative movement. The cooperative movement, we have the Cooperative Alliance of Kenya, CAK. But before I invite the CEO to comment about this governance question in the cooperative movement, Allow me, Your Excellency, to give you an example of a farmer from South Imenti. South Imenti, they do what is called mixed farming. A farmer has tea, a farmer has coffee, and a farmer keeps dairy cattle. They take their tea, Your Excellency, to KTDA. They are getting money. They take their milk to Meru Central Dairy. Your Excellency, the turnover of Meru Central last year was over 10 billion. They are second only to Brookside, processing more than 300,000 liters per day. These farmers know good governance, but when it comes to coffee, they don't know anything about good governance. In that context, Mr. Marube, tell us, how do we address the question of governance, more specifically, in the context of the coffee problem this country faces? Mr. Marube, in 5 minutes.
Thank you. Your Excellency, all protocols observed. CAK as the apex organization that brings together all the cooperatives. And this year, from last year, we have come together and we have decided to synchronize all our activities to your government's priority areas, that is in production, value addition, housing, and creating jobs. So we are there under the leadership of Honorable Simon Cherugoi. We are aligned to the government's priorities. So cooperatives, we are there to support the government. What we have learned here today, sir, is that we have the potential from the presentations that Kenya is the mother of the cooperative movement in Africa. Ethiopia, Rwanda came and trained from us, and now we are learning from them. Kenya, we have a culture of cooperatives. Each one of us knows all we need to do, being a devolved function to the county government. We are requesting the county governments to allocate a little bit more resources so that we can supervise. Supervision of the coffee cooperatives is in the hands of the county governments. You are the ones who supervise their elections. You are an ex officio in their board meetings. All we need to do is to work together. We clean up, digitize the weighing machines, digitize and computerize their records so that the farmers can see transparency and accuracy of their data. So that when a farmer comes in, he's comfortable to aggregate. So the county, the primary cooperatives will be the first point of contact with the farmer. Number two, we are saying that when the government is going to give the fertilizer and chemicals through the cooperative societies, the primary cooperative society, number one, we need to know how many trees do we have. So we need to do a very quick census. Number two, soil testing, so that we know what kind of soil fertility we have, what kind of fertilizers that we need to apply. Do we need to put just fertilizer, or do we need some little bit of lime? Number two, Your Excellency, we are saying that the governance issue is easy to break. Now that yesterday we said we are going to solve the problems of marketing, who were maybe influencing the elections of leadership in the cooperatives, that one is going to be put aside. We are saying in our new bill that our CS talked about has already set parameters, criteria on how we can be able to deal with those issues of governance. And we are bringing in the youth. We have now put in our regulations a 1/3 gender rule has been embedded into our regulations. So we are encouraging more youth to come in, women, because they are the largest people giving labor force in the cooperative sector, to be part of the decision making in the cooperative sector. Your Excellency, the home we recommend, and strongly from the world all over, that cooperatives, when people aggregate, when we come together, we will achieve much more. We can be able to get the biggest buyers if we aggregate our coffee together so that we can be able to satisfy the market. Volume, quantity is very important. And therefore we are saying this particular commodity, this particular product, coffee, we feel it, if the cooperatives, the farmers are given that support to aggregate their coffee and sit on the same table with the buyers. And we have said we have the structures already in place that requires to be supported so that the farmer can take their coffee to the buyer, sit on the same table. And we have already experiences, what Madam Jane has said, that we need to go to New York as farmers through our structures which are already in place so that we can be able to get value of our product. Our estimate is that by the 5th year, Your Excellency, we should be bringing in an equivalent of more than 300 billion in US dollars that can be able to serve this country to import oil that is giving us a problem for more than 10 years. If we support the structures that the cooperative movement has put in place so that we can aggregate our coffee and sell it as a Kenyan brand through our federations and the coffee export structures that we have put in place. And this will create about 800 decent jobs, Your Excellency, for these young men whom we are pulling out from the drinking dens. We will get them decent and stable jobs that they can be able to do. So in summary, Your Excellency, cooperatives have been tested all over the world. They have been trusted. And in Kenya, all we need to do is to come together with the governors at the very, very best, clean up, put up the structures to ensure that we have proper structures, regulations, proper elections are being done, regular audit, so that we are able to detect in case of any faults that may come in the movement and clean it up earlier before it becomes a big problem. Thank you, Your Excellency. And therefore, coffee. Yesterday we have issues to say, where do we place coffee? Coffee as a product is better placed in the Ministry of Cooperatives. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, CEO. Your Excellency, with your permission, allow me to take 2 comments or 2 questions from the members. I will take the mics, please. I will start with the Waheshimiwa. Yes. And maybe you can direct the question to any of these gentlemen and lady on frontier. Eric Washira for Ethiopia experience, Marango for Colombia experience, Dr. Jane for Kenya coffee exporters, Timothy for Sheriff Fund at KPCU, and Marube cooperative movement generally. Please, you can have the first question.
Yeah. My name is Farah Malim of the DAP.
Ms. Farah.
Yeah, my question is actually directed to you and the team that went with you to Colombia. We are a lawmaking body, members of parliament here. We're trying to see the best, legal regime we can put together in terms of a statute to be able to seal the loopholes of all the problems that you indicated. Have you tried to study their laws? Have you tried to study the laws and the regulations? Because we don't have to reinvent the wheel. If a legal system has worked very well, we will see what we can borrow from that and what we can add into it because of our domestic situation. I will also ask the same to our friend from Ethiopia. What are the rules and regulations and the pieces of legislation that are in place that makes them do as well as they're doing, which we can also study and see what we can borrow from? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Dr. Mutunga.
Thank you very much. We are grateful to learn the experience from those countries, and especially the Colombian experience. There is one thing I also heard yesterday about their farmer organizations, their cooperatives, the way they take over everything, all the functions. Did you explore the sustainability mechanisms of the cooperatives? Because what ails our cooperatives is the survival rate, and especially the farm organizations who are not cooperatives in this country. How are they engaged in the coffee business, and what kind of percentages do they accrue from the business that they do? Are they paid per the amount they sell, or is it a fraction or a percentage? Is it also integrated in their laws? Now that we are discussing a process that will lead to legislation, is it right for us to legislate that cooperatives need to be supported by so much percent from their growers?
Thank you. You can give your neighbor. Then it can come to Kagushia.
Thank you very much. My name is Eric Wamombi, the member for Madeira constituency. My question goes to Timothy. After you received the 3 billion for Cherry Fund, you used 300 million to pay Kenya Commercial Bank. After Kenya Commercial Bank had decided to put KPCU under liquidation, was that payment procedural? Thank you.
Kagushia, then we can respond to those ones. Mheshimiwa Kagushia.
Thank you very much. First, I have a question to the gentleman who presented first. What's the difference between the natural, aerobic, and washed coffee? My gentleman from Cooperative Bank, on the issue of the representation of different institutions in Kenya abroad. You said that there's a time we had representation in London from, I think, KPCU and such. Would it be good for us to have these in our embassies? What do you think? If we were to have any institution in Kenya having a representation out there, maybe our embassies should be beefed up so that we have trade attaches who are specifically dealing with coffee matters, especially in our major target markets. And lastly, on NKPCU, we want you to be very, very careful with the matters of liquidation because we would not want to see NKPCU losing the property and assets that they have. And we as members of parliament, we are very keen because we are also aware that some people benefit from those kind of transactions. We have auctions which are done at way below market value and market rates to benefit certain individuals who have traditionally taken advantage of the farmers and our public resources. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I wish we respond to those ones first, and then we take another round. I think I'll start with the Governor from Baringo next. But Mheshimiwa Farah, I want to respond to your question. We did not have a chance to look at the laws governing coffee in Colombia. But what is fundamental about Colombia is this. There's minimum guaranteed return. Coffee farmers know they are going to get their money from FNC, whether they sell the coffee or not outside. There's minimum guaranteed return. Secondly, in Colombia, the price is posted at the factory. When you walk with your coffee there, they sell parchment, you know, I'm going to get this amount of money for every kgs. When they receive your coffee, you don't leave the factory before getting your money. So payment is instant. You are paid there and then. So the transaction is a proper sale transaction. You leave with your money when you deliver your apartment. If there is no demand for coffee, the FNC is the buyer of the last resort. All the coffee farmers produce is guaranteed to be taken by the FNC. And that is fundamentally different from what we have in this country. I will ask Washira, you respond to Mheshimiwa Kagushia. Vincent, please respond to Mutunga, sustainability of cooperatives. And KPCU, you respond to the KPCU specific questions. Please, and make it brief so that we move to the next session.
Thank you, Bona PS. Mheshimiwa, the difference between the three types of processing. Washing is what we do currently, where the coffee is washed and then dried, and then it's taken for pulping. So we put in water. Natural method is where it is sun-dried. So part of why this is very big in Ethiopia specifically is back to the original why of coffee. They do it for their people, for the betterment of their people. And therefore, if you go to their factories, you'll find, yes, there's automation looking at the beans, but you'll find a long line of ladies employed because it's giving them employment. Back to the natural method, the coffee is dried outright naturally on the sun, and there are women employed just to turn it so that it's evenly dried. Then it goes for husking, not pulping this time around. Anaerobic is why it is now fermented inside containers, and it's timed with the correct temperatures and all. And the unique thing is, who is the customer? Because the customer for coffee in the specialty market is not just the average or normal customer. This is a specific customer who has placed a specific value requirement on the table. You are able to meet that value for that customer, then you're able to have an exchange of trust and exchange of mutual value. I pay for what you've given to me. That is what they're targeting. And the thing is, they're not playing in the general market. We all play soccer, but we're not all playing in the Premier League or in the Spanish League. People are playing in specific, unique, special markets, and that's why they're able to target it. Now, for them, they sell all their coffee. There's nothing that remains, and they're able to sell it all because of that approach. Back to the question Mheshimiwa asked on around governance, for Ethiopia, there's the Ethiopia Coffee and Tea Authority, which is the one body mandated to oversee coffee, tea, and all the spices that they do. That is in law. They're the ones who do the price discovery, and they use, like you had in the clip, very little of their coffee goes to the exchange. All their coffee goes to the international market. So they use that international market to now do the price discovery, layer on upon the cost that they have, and they're able to produce every week what is the minimum the farmer should be paid. At that point in April when we went there, the minimum they were being paid was 60 birr up to 100 birr. 60 birr forex is 2 shillings and 50 cents. So each cash farmer, when they deliver the coffee, the red cherry, they were being given upfront 150 Kenya shillings. That coffee, when put on the table, the union takes it, they process it, and they go and sell. When they sell, they give back 70% back to the union and to the farmers. The union is the farmers. This 70% is not put in law, but again, out of the governance of the cooperatives. We are doing this for our people. So they take just what is enough to cover their costs, and usually it's 30%, and 70% goes forward. If they're able to have cost savings, again, that is also passed forward. The certifications angle, any coffee that is certified, they have fair trade, rainforest, there are many certifications, and even in Kenya we have them. Each of those coffees, when sold with a certification, there's an extra few dollars that they get. That extra few dollars, again, 30%, 70% goes back to the customer. So the Ethiopian farmer gets his money 3 times. So on average, that one farmer who brought and got the 150, if you add on maybe the second sale you had from Tadesse between $3.8, he gets another maybe 40, 50 shillings. That's 200. Another 10 bob for the certification, this farmer gets 210 shillings. We need to choose our markets. We need to go for the big market because that's where our brand is. Like it's been said by everyone, Kenya coffee is the best of the best. You hear it with everybody because everybody has sampled it across that specialty score and they know. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Honorable Dr. Mutunga. On the question of how the cooperatives sustain themselves, in Colombia there are 2 ways. So the farmers deliver coffee to the FNC, their cooperatives, and they are paid immediately based on that day's best price that is determined very competitively in accordance with the global prices for that day. So once the farmer is paid, the FNC, the cooperative, now owns the coffee. They will take the coffee, some of it they will do value addition, some of it they will also look for the best markets on some other days. They make the margins, and they're able to make margins that are able to help them sustain. Also, for every coffee sold or exported from Colombia, you get deducted 0.06 USD per pound. And that money is utilized in 2 ways. One, for the price stabilization mechanism, and also for the purchase guarantee because as the PS has said, the FNC is the buy of last resort. So it is self-financing completely, no government intervention. That is the money they use to fund their research institute, which spends about 6 billion, equivalent of Kenyan shilling per year. That is the money they use to employ extension officers. Farmers in Colombia don't incur any other cost in terms of extension service support, in terms of seedlings, and in terms of any research that comes out of that. So the farmer, what he gets is net. The other question by Honorable Kagushia, in terms of representation as it used to be in the 70s and 80s, I think things are now different. The government of 70s and 80s is not the same as today. I agree with you fully, and I know the PS trade is here. I know the Honorable Minister yesterday highlighted some of the things they are telling the trade at a cheese to do, and I'm in agreement with you that actually the current model where we use our embassies can really work, and I know PS trade can elaborate that more. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Wamumbi. The 185 million and 50 million that were paid to KCB and the farmers respectively was done at the ministry level, and it was procedural. The 2.7 billion is what now was remitted to new KPCU. The other question from Honorable Kagushia, yes, I agree with you, and as new KPCU, we've taken all the necessary measures through our Ministry of Cooperatives and MSMEs to safeguard all the assets of new KPCU. And in some instances, we've even gone to try and negotiate and get all the ownership documents that are still in the, more largely in the hands of various legal entities. And I'm sure by the end of the liquidation process, all titles and all ownership documents of all the assets will have been retrieved and will be in custody of the Ministry of Cooperatives and MSMEs. Thank you.
Marube?
Thank you, sir. The farmers have requested that we protect the farmers' their own organizations from unfair practices. Your Excellency, there's a lot of bad coffee which is imported to this country and then exported as a Kenyan coffee. Some of our buyers are no longer trusting our coffee because it has been mixed with poor quality coffee imported to this country, and I'm sure people from the Ministry of Agriculture can tell us the quantity. And we are saying we need to protect our coffee so that anybody importing coffee from Kenya, it cannot be considered to have originated here, because that is what is giving our brand name and to the market out there a low value.
Thank you. Your Excellency, with your permission, allow me to take another round of questions. Maybe 3. Then I start with the Governor from Baringo, Mheshimiwa Cheboy. Yes,
Okay,
let Cheboy ask his question, then we move to where are the farmers?
Thank you. I am also a farmer.
Let him ask his question, then I'll give it to a farmer.
Thank you. Your Excellency, yesterday's presentation by Mushwe and today's presentation by Mutwiri has given me a lot of hope in the coffee sector, that we can make it and we can be better than our neighbors. Mr. Marube this morning says coffee should be under cooperatives. My desire would be that we have a system that we can decide as a country that we want to produce a specific number of tonnage of coffee that can give us a specific amount of income when we export or sell locally. We need to begin thinking about setting targets. And listening to the 2 presentations from the farmers, we can be able to begin setting targets and allocating those targets to the various coffee-producing counties or the relevant ministries that are responsible for production of coffee. in the case now that Marube is saying it should be in cooperatives, then we must begin allocating those targets. If we are going to say we need to move from what we are producing now, is it 50,000 tons to 200,000 tons maybe, how do we assign those targets? And how do we provide the resources and the support that can facilitate the various farming cooperative societies in Kenya? And of course, even the allocation of the cherry fund or whatever fund that is going to support farmers. I come from the emerging sector, Baringo County and maybe Bomet and the others that are new in this area. Farmers need to be supported with inputs, seedlings, fertilizers, and so on and so forth, so that they can increase the area under coffee. And for those who are producing 2 kilos, we need to start targeting, leveraging on the experience of people like Mutueri, so that we can move from 2 kilos to 10 kilos to 20 kilos. Then we can begin focusing on the target and the quality. My question is, how should we do that? I do not know who's going to answer this, but Marube started by saying that it should be in cooperatives. Of course, agriculture is supposed to be able to influence the production. County governments also are supposed to take the due responsibility of supporting the farmers and ensuring that farmers are able to go into this area. So I think that fund, the Coffee Development Fund, is an area to begin with, so that we can be able to expand the area under coffee and to influence the increase of production of coffee per bush. That is my submission. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. I want really to close. I want to pick 3 questions, Your Excellency, with the permission, from farmers. Then we close. The question is, how do we know the farmers? Kindly pass the mic to the farmers.
Yeah, Your Excellency, our beloved Vice President, majina naitwa Joshua Beria Imadhiu kutoka Tigania East, formerly KPCU. Swali yangu iko namna hii. 2009 ndio liquidator aliingia KPCU. Na wakati aliingia KPCU he liquidated everything. Tumesikia ndani ya KCB imelipwa. Tumesikia some farmers noto wamelipwa. Lakini wale watu walikuwa wanafanya kazi KPCU tunjalipwa. Many of us wamekufa sana sauri ya shinda. So ningekuomba tu kwa unyenyekevu, bila naona uko na nguvu ya kufanya anything kwa hii Kenya tukiwa nyuma yako. Tulimuingisha hapo tukiwa na purpose ya mtu zaidie sisi wakulima. Mimi ni mkulima. Tigania North. So ningekuomba uingie kati. Tumepresent barua kwa our PS, our CS ya claim ya kuonyesha wakulima wale hawakulipwa na ya kuonyesha wafanyikazi wale walikutwa na liquidator hawakulipwa. So wale wamebaki afadhali tu enjoy their benefits Thank you very much. Swali lingine ni wale waliingilia wakauza vitu ya KPCU wanajulikana. Na afadhali tuambiane ukweli, your slogan is very important to us. David Murathe, yule alikuwa secretary wa Jubilee, ni mmoja ya wale waliuza hiyo vitu ya KPCU. Chairman Gatei, ndiye alikuwa chairman wa KPCU by then, ni mmoja ya wale waliuza vitu ya KPCU together with the board which was there by then. So nakwambia usiogope Murathe, usiogope Gatei, tuko nyuma yako na ukiingilia hapo tutafurahia. Na waliweka hiyo makaratasi yetu kando. Hata mwao walikuwa. Tuambianeni ukweli vile mheshimiwa DP anasema.
Thank you, sir.
Again, ya mwisho. Farmers wala wanjalipwa. Ningependa PS tukae pamoja nikupatie list ya farmers wala hawakulipwa. Ukiona wamelipwa ni sawa. List ya wale wafanyikazi hawakulipwa naye nikupatie. Lakini uko naye nilikuletea kwa ofisi yako. I know that. So ningependa tu mkubwa our DP, our DP na kurudishia shukurani tena kwa vile hapa Meru kulikuwa kunawaka moto. Hiyo moto ilikuwa inawakwa ni shauri ya gavana yule tulichagua. Gavana very evil, ulituliza hiyo moto na tuko nyuma ya gavana saa hii. Ande 100%. Na tunaona anatupeleka mbele. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. 2 more questions from farmers, then we close. Please distribute the mic on the extreme left. Your Excellency, thank you, Your Excellency. Let's have 5 more questions. Women. Gender, please. And MP for Tetu, my friend. Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. Your Excellency and all the leaders. Yes, I am also a farmer, but I want to talk from the perspective of education and training, which has not been emphasized here. I come from the Cooperative University of Kenya, and I'm glad that when Alec was talking, he mentioned about the role the cooperative college that time played in training the people from Ethiopia and the progress that they made after that training. I also listened to Mr. Malube when he was talking about the need to reinvent the cooperative so that we can put the management of coffee in the cooperatives. One thing I want to say is when we are talking about these things, let's not forget about education and training, because if we talk and we do not educate, just the way we did for the Ethiopians, and they went there and they actualized what we taught, they could not have been where they are. So the same case with Kenya. In the 70s and 80s, we used to train diploma programs, and we used to have coffee-based programs. We even used to have equipment and machinery for demonstrating. In fact, we had started CBA that particular time. But when it came to other 1990s, things changed, and those courses were no longer in demand. The coffee farmers stopped coming. The leaders in those coffee cooperatives stopped coming. And I think that is the time we started having problems. I want to give an example. If you look at the financial cooperatives, they are doing very well here in Kenya. And the reason why the cooperative university has partnered with them, we are training their directors, and we are making sure we also train their employees, the staff, and even the members. Because if we do not concentrate on this as we go into these reforms, we may not succeed. So as we were talking, the panel talked very good things, but I want to emphasize that they should capture the issue of education and training. And if we place their education and training, the cooperative university has the expertise to do this. The problem that we have right now, our moderator, is because the government funding of universities, like we are aware, has changed, and we have very little funding. In those years, we used to be very adequately funded to offer those diploma programs. So right now, universities are being funded for degree, master's, PhD programs. But the diploma programs, which are very essential in carrying out the operational issues we are talking about, are not being funded.
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, so I think I can add there.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Please make your question short and precise. 3 more questions, then we respond. The farmer at the back. The farmer at the back, then we come to Tetu MP, then we give PS trade.
Niko hapa na nimesimama tayari.
Please, go ahead.
Kama mkulima, naitwa Samson Koskei.
Yes,
kutoka Western Kenya, ni mkulima wa kahawa. Hapa tumezungumza maneno huko mbele, na sisi wakulima hapa tuko hapa kwa minajili ya mkulima wa leo, si wa jana. Hapo tumeongea maneno mazuri, lakini nataka KPCU, new KPCU ametuambia kwamba cherry fund ya mwaka huu ilipatiwana katika area hiyo peke yake. Western Kenya, mbona hatukupata hiyo pesa? Tulipata mwaka hiyo ingine mbolea kutoka new KPCU. Mwaka huu ikatokea ya subsidy. Cooperatives ambayo iko na data ya wakulima wote waliambiwa individual farmers wataenda ku apply. Individual farmers wanakuwa registered na chief. Chief sio anajua maneno ya cooperatives. Unaambiwa ngojea SMS upate ndio uende serial. Wakulima wachache walipata SMS. Ukifika serial unapanga laini siku 3 siku 4. Kahawa ingojei, kuna timeline ya kuweka mbolea. This time round more than 60% ya wakulima Western Kenya hatukupata mbolea kwa sababu SMS inachelewa. Chiefs ndio wanafanya kazi na tuko na devolved unit ya county government. Hatujui what went wrong. Nataka Mheshimiwa DP streamline responsibilities ya ministries isakuja sikapandana, kwa sababu sasa tunaambiwa tuko cooperatives, tuko agriculture. Wakati sasa maneno ya kuandikisha mbolea inaenda kwa presidency, mpaka sasa tunashindwa tunaenda wapi?
Thank you, Mr. Koskei.
So nataka tu tujue kwamba what happened to Western Kenya, baba hatukupata pesa ya new KPA ya mbolea. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable member for Tetu.
Hello. I'm Duncan Maina Madenge, Member of Parliament, Nyeri Town Constituency. Now, 3 things. Number 1, you've talked about Sheriff Fund. There is money that was also set aside in the budget for repairs and maintenance of factories. Where did the money go? And these farmers are deducted money for the same. In fact, that is the single biggest expenditure by the farmers in terms of the primary processing. Number 2, Dr. Jane, after such an excellent performance of 139, how come the cooperative movement, the farmers, did not flock to you as you have the favorable marketer? Then Mr. Marube from cooperatives, the Ministry of Cooperatives, and in particular, the Commissioner of Cooperatives, that is a mortuary where cooperatives are dying. But you want to keep skirting around the real issues that are affecting our farmers. That anytime a cooperative, by the time a cooperative gets to your table, is actually a coffin that you make and put in the cooperative. Why are cooperatives not monitored sufficiently? Why does a cooperative that is on its deathbed have to pay you for you to be able to conduct an audit or an inquiry? And therefore, you find, even as we talk about the coffee being in cooperatives, farmers are so afraid of cooperatives because they have really suffered in the hands of cooperatives, yet no solutions are being offered. What is the solution?
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Tetu, then PS Trade, then please Sang, you finish. Governor Sang.
Thank you, Honorable Duncan, for hijacking my chance. I think mine is a very straightforward question to the good doctor. I am informed that coffee is traded in futures. So today, the coffee that will be produced in 2026, prices has already been agreed. How comes we then cannot be able to set what we have been crying for so many years, a guaranteed minimum return? I'm told Starbucks, for example, right now, has already bought coffee at $800. The coffee that will be produced the next 3-4 years. So we know that a bag of AA 50 kg will fetch $800. Why is it so difficult? Why do our farmers have to go through this yearly coffee price fluctuation? Last year, 130, the farmers flocked back to the farms. This year, 70, they again abandoned the coffee. And with that, we'll never be able to grow a sustainable coffee industry. My only other comment is that in this game, since we have been told there are cartels and they are the good people, maybe KCCE can confirm, where do you take your coffee to the cartels? Do you trade your coffee directly abroad? And if not, why are our farmers still selling to the cartel, if you are the good people? Thank you.
Thank you, Mosh.
It's called hedging.
And Farah Malim, who is my neighbor here, he is the head of Coffee Consumers Association. He would like to add something.
Thank you.
Why, really, we are running out of time.
Yeah. But you see, Madam PS, we are going through the most critical questions that afflict our farmers here in our country, and we seriously need to take a little bit more time, even if it means another day. And the DS and the DP has already, he's here. He's sitting throughout. He doesn't even go for, I don't know, he empties his bladder before he comes here. I haven't even seen him go for you. But then there's something called hedging. I've been involved myself in commodities. Why is it not possible for us to be able to do hedging, in which case you are able to sell your coffee well in advance, not just because there's a demand at that time? And having said that, I want to ask my friend from Cooperative Bank, the director. By the way, congratulations for being the only person from financial institutions who has taken an interest in this, and we're impressed. Have you ever done any study in which you can go through because at the end of it, the bottom line is money. We have to get money into the pockets of farmers. And your bank is one bank that is not known for selling the assets of farmers. I don't know if I'm wrong. I know many other banks that basically are always there in the auctions. You're not too much in auctions selling assets. Have you got a kind of a study based on what you have found, which is going to integrate all these things? We talked about the DSS, we talked about all that. Do you have some kind of a master plan or a framework you can share with us? And then we see how we can also enrich it, and the farmers can enrich. Thank you.
PS Kombudo.
This lady, gender, I'm a speaker. Have some gender balance, please.
At least say for me. You know why they are clapping, Bwana PS? From yesterday, I've been asking for time to speak, but however, we are here. And first, I want to appreciate the fact that we've come here for the Coffee Reforms Conference. I come from Kericho. Beatrice Keme is my name, County MP. So I speak on behalf of the people of Kericho, who are real farmers on coffee. We have Kipkelion, our farmers are here. And Bwana PS, my issues are, one, are from the people who have spoken, the people sitting in front. They have talked of women and youth providing labor. I appreciate that, but it hurts me to some extent because we need them to own the coffee farms. I'm saying this in line with what we're supposed to do. As a woman rep and many women reps who are here, we have actually used the Affirmative Action Fund to help the women. Myself, I actually gave out 30,000 seedlings to women and people living with disability. Those are vulnerable families. So as we talk of women, providing labor, why can't we also ask our men to give a small piece of land, whether 1 point, 2 points, or 0.1 acres, for these women to own coffee, because that is when at least all of them can appreciate. Number two, we have you've actually talked about stabilizing of prices. The many issues that we have with coffee is the fluctuation of prices in the world market. What can you do, or what can we do so that the prices are stabilized? Farmers, as you've said, are resilient, they are hardworking. They are ready to have money in their pockets. But how can the prices be stabilized? What can we do? And from there.
Thank you.
And lastly, the age of the coffee trees is an issue. It is a challenge. I'm saying this because when you talk of the farmers, the old farmers, when you talk of 60 years, that one, the yields are very low. Are we telling the farmers to uproot the old trees, or what are we saying? What are they supposed to do? What advice can we give to those farmers? And finally, coffee, tea, and bananas and the others support issues of climate change. I believe as we talk of coffee and these others, can we also embrace the idea of environmental conservation that will support us even in the world market when they know in the world, knowing that we are concerned with the climate change. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Timothy, that's your question. PS Kombudo, please. We are looking at diversity. PS Kombudo comes from Kisumu with potential to grow coffee.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll try and be as brief as possible. But there's been a question that has been coming on and off on this issue of markets, trade attaches, and how do we actually do that work externally. And I just wanted to share a very quick few points there. Currently, we do have trade attaches that are actually appointed by State Department Trade and that are based in our capital cities. So you have in Washington, Brussels, and so on and so forth. What are we doing? As soon as August 2022 came and we went onto the value chain basis of delivering our work, we quickly realized that that model needs to change. It needs to change for several reasons. Number one is that if you have a trade attaché that's based in Washington, for example, yet technology is based in the other coast, is this person well equipped to do that kind of work? The tea, we have a trade attaché in Islamabad, I believe, but the tea trade is actually being done in Karachi, which is a port city where all this work is being done. So what example can I offer you that we have been able to do with livestock, for example, in as far as addressing our route to market? And maybe you may want to consider it, and I'm very happy that our colleagues from the private sector are also here, because that is part of what we're looking at as our new way of getting representation. What we've done is, the first thing is that we have, in partnership with the State Department of Livestock, come up with what we're calling a route to market strategy for example, the meat sector. We realize that we're exporting $75 million. We realize that in the Gulf, we are able to even double this every few years. Now, based on this information, we then decided with them to come up with a route to market strategy to see how we can maybe take this tenfold. And what did we do? We basically realized that we need to have a trade, we need to understand, first and foremost, before you talk about institutions, you need to understand, number one, working right from the market. How is the distribution done in that market? Who are the importers in that market? Who are the competitors delivering products in that market at the price point that we are able to do? And once we are able to get all of that information to understand who our competitors are, what prices they have, and so on and so forth, the second stage was that we were able to now understand what kind of cuts do they want. How do you label meat products in Arabic? How do you label products so that they're done in halal? How do you do this in such a way that you're able to get into the supermarkets? And once we are going to be able now to get all that information, we now ask ourselves, what sort of representation do we need in the United Arab Emirates in order to advance our sale and to provide support to our exporters in such a way that then we are able to have that conversation going.
Thank you,
I don't
PS.
want to get into too many details, but in the context of coffee, I would like to suggest that let us have a route to market strategy jointly led by trade, cooperatives, and agriculture that then enables us to answer all of these questions and bring in the private sector such that then we can design a representation mechanism that allows even the private sector, our diaspora, and so forth to be part of this sort of trade representation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Governor Sang. We'll respond to those questions.
Thank you, PS. Listening to the presentation by the team ahead of us here at the panel discussions, very informative. But I want to, the Colombian experience, and I think I want to speak from the side of county governments. You know, I picked that extension services are provided and funded by the Federation. If you hear the discussions that we have had since yesterday and today, there are two things: marketing element and the pricing, and the other one is production. And the kind of disparity from, you know, the lowest amount you get per tree to the highest, there is a huge difference. Others are doing 2 kilos, others are doing 30 kilos. That huge difference could actually address our issues around productivity and the production level. But then that difference can only be traced to capacity of farmers and the extension services. As we speak right now, our farmers depend on government, and in this case, county governments. In Nandi, for example, we have 5 or 6 value chains across agriculture. It's not going to be easy for me to dedicate an entire team of, you know, agricultural extension officers specifically for coffee. You know, I'm going to do a little bit of coffee. I will do some for tea. I will do some for dairy. I will do some for the other value chains. Now, looking at Colombian experience, why can't we organize our farmers and they can fund this for themselves? I mean, this is the message I'm getting from the coffee board the reintroduction of coffee board, that would then support and work around a system where even extension services can be funded by farmers themselves. Right now, you are depending on the government. You know, when in the case of AFA, again, if you look at the directorate under AFA, they will have a lean team of staff under coffee on the basis of the resources the national government has. We will have the same in county governments on the basis of our resources. Why can't we put together this law that allows our farmers, through a small deduction, to actually get proper extension services on a proper framework that will eventually lead to high productivity and high returns for the farmers? So I think as government, you know, farmers should not just depend on government. We must allow them to take charge of their trade. This is your business. Don't just depend on government. We have a lot of things we have to deal with. We have education, we have roads, we have many other things. But if we can allow this value chain to manage their issues on their own, that will be able to suffice. Finally, this KPC, you know, is it the new
KPCU?
KPCU. You know, Your Excellency, Deputy President, as long as there is no sanction for those who sank the first KPCU, even the new one that you are calling new will be old and it will be sunk because there are no sanctions. We are hearing of properties of, you know, KPCU being auctioned by people that are known. The names have been mentioned here. The truth is, in another 2, 3, 4, 5 years, we will be here with another, you know, liquidator dealing with the current, the new, what you are calling new. We have seen that in, you know, KCC and many others. There must be sanctions for those who sink, you know, farmers' institutions, so that then we can guarantee the future. Otherwise, these farmers, you know, lethargy around joining cooperative societies, joining farmers' federation will continue to dog us. Thank you.
Thank you. Your Excellency, allow us to respond to the questions raised by members. I will attempt myself to answer the farmer from Tigania East. And this is as to regards liquidation of old KPCU. Your Excellency, when we came in, yes, there's a liquidator from the State Department of Cooperatives. We have gotten the liquidation report. One of the things we have done to conclude that process is that we have regazetted the liquidator because when his term expired in the last administration, they did not renew his term. We needed, as per the provision law, to have a liquidator so that we can conclude the process of liquidation. I can confirm here, and my cabinet minister is here, is that we have done a cabinet memo to seek for assistance to sort out issues relating to old KPCU so that we can be able to hand over the asset of old KPCU to the new KPCU. That cabinet memo, Your Excellency, will come to your desk at some point in time in the very near future. And yes, I have had a look at the report, and a big component of it is employees' payment, which we are studying from the old KPCU. I can confirm that. I think the commitment we make here as a State Department is that we are going to hasten the process to ensure that this money is paid to their rightful owners. The second question I'd like to attempt to answer is from Echeboy. As a State Department, we have set up a target of 270,000 metric tons by the year 2027. And the plan, the formula is as given by the farmer Yamotweri. We need to increase our productivity from the national average now of 2 kgs. 2 kgs is giving us 50 metric tons. If we increase it to 10, we are multiplying our productivity by 5. Let us get to 12. In 5 years, we believe we should get it to 300,000 metric tons per year. The other question I would like to answer, Your Excellency, with the permission, is from the member of Nyeri Town as to the Office of the Commissioner. The Commissioner of Cooperatives serve under the State Department of Cooperatives, where I'm the PS, and he is my Chief Technical Advisor. I want to say the mother law of the cooperative movement is Cooperative Act of 2004. That law is not alive to the new constitution, it's not alive to the realities of devolution. As you may know, cooperatives are devolved to the county government. Your Excellency, I want to confirm that we have the Cooperative Societies Act 2023, which was validated by the previous administration cabinet, but we said it is wise for us to revalidate it with the 5th administration. We have done a cabinet memo. The Cooperative Societies Act is coming for revalidation at cabinet, and we are going to take it to Parliament. The intended consequences of this new law is first to align the mother law of the cooperative movement, the Cooperative Societies Act, to the 2010 Constitution. Number 2, the devolution reality of today. And number 3, we seek through the law to ensure that the office of the commissioner is able to meet the expectations of the cooperators, and more so, they answer the question of governance, which has been canvassed in this forum. So this law, members of Parliament, is coming to the floor of the House. When it does, we seek your indulgence in that we pass it quickly so that the issues raised by the honorable member for Nyeri Town, we are able to sort them through that act. Finally, Your Excellency, with the permission, I want to respond about NJ, about futures, as Honorable Farah stated, and Honorable Member for Tetu. It is true, coffee is the second most traded commodity in the world, second only to oil. And it is true, it's a futures market. Your Excellency, what we know is that the actual trading of Kenyan coffee is not done by any of the farmers. It is done by those people you want people mentioned here, Honorable Governor for Embu mentioned very well. The heart of trading in coffee futures is a skill Professor Esther of Cooperative University you need to teach us. We need capacity to be able to trade because yes, the coffee you're producing this year and the coffee you're producing next year, we know it is already sold, and it's sold at a very high price. What they will do is that they will hedge, they will arbitrate to ensure they pay the farmers the lowest prices possible, and they take the biggest chunk of their price. And I think one of the main intended consequences of this forum is to ensure that It is we bridge the gap between what the coffee taker is taking and what the farmer is taking. It is called sustainability and traceability in the modern trade. I'll ask my fellow, my colleagues here to respond to the other question as directed by members. Thank you.
Thank you very much. PS, Your Excellency, the Deputy President, I will respond to His Excellency, the Governor Sang. You are concerned about the Colombian experience. How can cooperatives organize themselves to fund this? Governor, I want to inform you that actually farmers have no problem with these things. They have done it before. In the 80s, 70s, and 80s, and part of 90s, cooperative unions actually used to have their own extension officers. When coffee farmers had money in their pocket, the unions in Muranga, in Nyeri, in Meru, in Bungoma, in Machakos used to employ their own extension officers. So if we address this issue of our farmers being empowered, they will have the extension officers. If you look at the dairy, for example, where the dairy farmers have money, Meru Central Dairy here and Githunguri, which are cooperatives, have actually employed their own extension officers. They do artificial insemination for their members. So that will happen, and I can assure you that in Colombia, it is because the farmers have been able to have the money in the pocket through their cooperatives. So farmers, do you agree that you'll be able to do that? When you have money in your pocket, I know you are capable. Honorable Farah Maalim, thank you very much, sir, for your compliment. I want to say that we as Cooperative Bank, this is very dear to us. Cooperative Bank was started by these coffee farmers, spread across the country. I want to tell you that we have been part and parcel of the reforms, and we've supported the government to implement any reform that is to the benefit of the coffee farmers. For example, the issue of even the introduction of the DSS, because you asked me what are we doing to ensure that we integrate. We've supported actually the introduction of the DSS, because the DSS is going to ensure that farmers are paid promptly. When coffee is sold at the coffee exchange, payment is T+1 or T+2. Coffee is never released from the warehouse until it is paid. But farmers get their money 7 months after that. The DSS is coming to address this. DSS will solve the solution that once coffee is sold at the exchange, that money goes straight to the DSS and it is allocated to the real owner, so that the money goes to the account of the owner of the coffee immediately. So you don't wait to aggregate the entire sale and then pay after 3 months. The DSS will ensure that money lands into the farmer's account immediately the coffee is sold, and they will then retain those money in their account. They'll be able to discuss with the commercial banks where they bank, so that they get interest rates for those deposits as they wait to pay the farmers. We've supported the government to implement, for example, the warehouse receipt system, which is coming to address the power of trading instruments. We are part of the council in the warehouse receipt system, where we sat, and you are aware that currently there is even an ongoing discussion as we speak here today to ensure that the trade rules have been implemented, and in Anyuki, that's where they are setting those rules. We are part of that. We have integrated our systems also with the warehouse receipt system. The Kenya Multi-Commodity Exchange that PS Kombundo is leading, I want to tell you that we were the first people to subscribe initial shareholding of 50 million to the Kenya Multi-Commodity Exchange to ensure that our farmers have a trading platform. And we are going to support the government and work with the government to ensure that the Kenya Multi-Commodity Exchange is a reality. So those are some of the issues we are doing to support that. The issue of rotation that Honorable Kemei spoke about, how are they doing it in Colombia? If you have 1 acre of land in Colombia, you don't change your entire trees for the 1 acre. You do it in rotation. So you get maybe a quarter of that land, you cut the old trees that are over 6 years old, you plant new ones. As they come up, you go on cutting the rest so that you don't replace all your trees at a go. That's how they are achieving it in Colombia. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Yeah, Mheshimiwa asked about issues of audit and the others. which the PS has fully directed. But CAK, the organization that I represent, Cooperative Alliance, we are the advocacy body for cooperatives. And I want to urge those cooperatives and SACCOs, when you have challenges with either county government or national government, issues which are not moving, that's where we are there, to represent you, to make quick follow-up with the PS, quickly to go to the CS, to have issues resolved on time. Remember, since the Constitution was put in place 10 years, we have been having issues of what are the functions of the county government now that the cooperatives have been devolved, and what were the retained functions of the national government. We come in very strongly to support the cooperatives. Don't have issues outstanding somewhere and you don't know where to go when you have a body that you are supporting, CAK, to unlock them. So that's where I come in. But we have carefully, if you look at our sessional paper of 2020, we have carefully stipulated the role of the national government and the county government. 80% of the work of management of cooperatives is now going to be operationalized once the bill comes to Parliament, and we believe you will be able to pass it quickly. Then we will be able to sort out all those issues of audit and liquidations.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, with your permission, allow me to retreat the panelist. And I do so, I really want to ask Honorable Parashina from Kajiado constituency. Honorable Parashina, kindly step forward, give him a mic. Panelist, kindly retreat, and thank you so much for, yeah. Please, MC, take over.
Studio, let's have a mic for Mheshimiwa Samuel Parashina. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Your Excellency, all protocol observed. My name's Samuel Sakimba Parashina, Member of Parliament Kajiado South constituency, and member of Department of Committee, I sit on the Committee of Trade, Industry and Cooperatives. So I'm honored to see my CS here and our two PSS. Honorable, Our Excellency Deputy President, I wanted just to confirm and appreciate that also got an opportunity to come here today to represent our committee. I know I come from areas which are not coffee, but I've heard about coffee, and it's a good thing. Last time we were together in Nakuru, when we were talking about the issue of alcohol, I want to confirm the decision that we made that day, the country has changed. We are happy. Issue of alcohol, the second generation alcohol, is coming down. So even today, as an Azimio member, because I always like to, I think today, Your Excellency, people love me. Sorry, I'm so sorry because people love me. I think I've put on a jeans, a little bit jeans. I look like a young boy, but that's fine. So when we talk about the issue of alcohol last time in Rift Valley, the alcohol, the second generation, the people who are producing it, because I come from Ruto, so I told you the alcohol was coming from my area. Now I can confirm that things are moving well, and the second generation alcohol has gone down. Your Excellency, I know you are going to make a decision, and sometimes the decision call for many things. But I can tell you farmers are going to be happy. As a member of the Committee of Trade, I'll make sure that we concentrate on how to market coffee, even if it is coming from these areas that maybe Kajiado South is not included. And that's why we are saying, Your Excellency, Tanzania, it's very unfair when you talk about a country that used to depend on us, to give them guidelines. But you see, now when it comes to our country now, our country is going down. So, Your Excellency, want to support you on whatever you are doing on making those hard decisions, even if you to call for anything, so be it. Because we want this country to move forward. We can't be using example of Ethiopia. We can't use the example of Uganda. Our issue so much can happen to our people and even the constitution. So we need leaders to come out and fight these things of the cartels that we were talking yesterday. Very unfair now, Your Excellency, you know that there is a problem of sugar. And the Waziri is here. Yeah, we need to know even those issues. You can see that the sugar is being fighted now. The cooperatives are getting at problems, the KPCU. I want to tell you, the only thing I wanted to stand here to affirm. I've heard the farmers, I've heard you, I've heard the stakeholders, and I'm seeing there's a reason why we need also to talk to our colleagues in Azimio. We need to talk to them and tell them we can't move forward if at all the hard decisions are not going to be made. And one of the things is a finance bill. We want to say that people need money, Your Excellency, for these things to go. On that one, I think, Your Excellency, tutaongea na wenzetu, tuone kwamba mambo ya hii ya finance bill, tuweke mkono kidogo, tuwasaidie kwa sababu bila pesa, hakuna mahali tunaenda.
Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa Samuel Sakimba from Kajiado South. Indeed, very great direction and proper position on what is needed for the great posterity of our country. Your Excellency, sir, with your kind permission, we wish now to share the updates and information pertaining to our breakout sessions that will allow us to discuss further what we have gone through since yesterday, and even more importantly, to ensure that we come up with something conclusive, which has been the agenda for this coffee sector conference. Your Excellency, sir, we have 7 thematic areas, and I wish to proceed and announce the first